thrown lately?
He's 34 years old, Will. You'll understand when you get to 34. It all starts to go downhill from there. This is NFC North Open Mic Night. That means it's open mic to you out there watching. Please like and follow our page, and you should join our groups, too. It's Detroit Lions Main Event is our group, and the NFC North, The Huddle. These are our groups where we create these discussions, and you'll know what we're talking about. Join the discussion, join the groups. It's Detroit Lions Main Event, NFC North, The Huddle. So let's talk about that Danielle Hunter re-signing in Minnesota, Russell Wayne. Oh, we have a special guest on today. It's a guy who is really not part of our show, though some people may think so. He is Jeremy Ballreich from the South Florida Tribune. How are you, Jeremy?
No problem. Rajneesh, I accept your apology. Come on in. Let's have some fun.
Like that.
Pretty sure he never really apologized.
Even though I'm a Panthers fan.
No. Wait. Look.
He says it right here in the comments.
Right there. Boom. Let's put it right there.
Oh, Raj, I'm starting to like Rajneesh even more now.
But I like that we can do this and that we can put this out there because we do like a good heated football conversation. Don't think we don't like coming on here, talk some smack, but just don't make it personal. And that's cool. And I'm glad that Rajneesh is not like an enemy of ours, even though he's an enemy football team.
Isn't he a Bear fan?
He's a Bear fan.
So if I were a Bear fan, I might have to resort to personal insults too, since I root for the worst team in the league, and there's not a whole lot I can go with there. So we're talking about Danielle Hunter now, Jeremy, and the fact that the Minnesota Vikings may have, in fact, the worst general manager in the NFL, in my opinion. Tell us, Jeremy, is there anything to report on this Danielle Hunter thing? And was this a good move for Minnesota or no?
Yes, because they had no one else to rush the passer. If you're thinking Davenport was any good, he had a half a sack through 10 games last year. So they needed somebody, and he is somebody that is proven commodity. So they were able to keep one out of 8. What?
He wasn't a free agent.
No, he wasn't, but he wanted to either be traded or get a deal. He got his deal for a year. He basically got a franchise tag deal for defensive end.
Yeah.
But my point is, they already had him under contract. He was either going to have to play for them or not play. So what does he do? He extorts him for another $17 million with a specific no franchise tag clause saying, I'm still going to be here for this 1 year and I'm not coming back next year, but you're going to pay me more money, even though he was under contract. What a dumb move, right?
I think he just sat out and not played and missed out on that $4.5 million because it wasn't enough considering they gave Davenport $13.5 million for half a sack.
Understood, but you can miss what they say is you can miss training camp, you can hold out all that, but once the season starts, don't miss those games because you don't get those checks back. Those checks are gone forever when you start missing games. So I don't think – when was the last time we saw someone set out? Le'Veon Bell? And look how that worked out to sit out a whole season. It was basically the end of his career. I think it was a terrible move by the Minnesota Vikings, and Danielle Hunter's agent absolutely fleeced Kwesi on this one. Will, you got a thought on this?
Oh, he absolutely fleeced him. I agree 100%. But like I said, him and Harrison Smith are the only things really of that defense as of late. Like, Davenport's not worth the money he got. It's ridiculous. Like, how he got that money by having half a sack, I want to know who his agent is, really. But also, Hunter's older. Hunter is like, I'm surprised Hunter didn't sit out because I'm surprised he didn't force a trade and say, hey, I want to go to a contender. I want to win a Super Bowl. I've been fighting my butt off for you guys, and you just paid a guy who got half a sack $13 million, and I get 4. No, thank you. But
you've had enough of that shit.
Definitely did fleece.
Will, that's a great point. But to your point, he's saying, I'm all you've got left. It's me and Harrison Smith. You need to pay me now or I'll be gone next year. Well, guess what? He's already going to be gone next year now with a no franchise tag clause. So they're giving him the bag, man. They're giving him $20 million, which is top dollar for his position, and he's still going to be gone New Year. I need someone to agree with me that this was a terrible GM move. Go ahead, Jeremy. You look like you're going to poop yourself.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is a terrible GM move. I'm not saying it wasn't. What I am going to say, though, is I don't know if he's the worst one in the division because Ryan Poles is the only one that hasn't fleeced Quezzy yet.
Right.
We're taking turns fleecing Quezzy. I thought it was a horrible move, Mike. I mean, not that it was a horrible move for the getting the person, but the fact that isn't Quezzy the GM? I mean, it just seems like he just bends to the will of people. You have to run your franchise. You're getting paid to run your franchise.
He did that.
Daniil Hunter
did that Jedi mind
run the
trick. You will pay me.
I don't want to pay you all that money. You will pay me that money. Oh, I will pay you that money.
These are not the free agents you're looking for.
You like half a sack Davenport.
You like that?
Oh gosh, we got there's got to be a Viking fan out there.
Trubisky.
I mean, Jamez, we want to put you into the intro of the show, but we need a Viking fan in here to come and defend this trash.
Those things exist.
I mentioned it just like I said it there in the back chat, and they didn't have a thing to say. At first, they were sitting there applauding the deal, saying, they did a great job. And then Jamez in his defense says, look, if we would have let him walk, you would have rode us just as hard. And I said, oh, for sure. We would have rode you just as hard. But because now you just gave away $17 million. I don't understand it. They're going to have to pay Hawkinson. They're going to have to pay Justin Jefferson, and they still have no one on defense. They get a chance with a first-round draft pick, and they take a wide receiver 3 in Jordan Addison. I mean, tell me this defense couldn't have used an infusion of new young talent in that first round. There are a lot of great defensive players that went. This Quezzy guy, if I'm a Minnesota Viking, I'll be calling for his head. What do you think, Jeremy? Do you think Quezzy lasts one more year?
If they, by the grace of God, win 8 games, yes.
You think 8 games he can save his job?
Yes.
I don't know, because I can't see how those 8 games were any reflection on what kind of job he's doing. Will, what do you think? Does the GM in Minnesota last another year?
I think he lasts half a year, to be honest, because look what the Vikings have done. They've been good. They won the crazy Minnesota Miracle. They beat the Saints in the playoffs lately, but you haven't done anything really spectacular. You haven't led Minnesota to the promised land in how long? Like, seriously, these Vikings fans want a Super Bowl. My dad's a Vikings fan. He wants the Super Bowl. He refuses to watch football because the Vikings are so bad. But,
They're the division champions. I'm not sure what you're talking about. They've won a lot more than our Lions have ever won. They've been to more Super Bowls than we've ever sniffed. So I don't get that. I really don't get that line of thinking, but I respect your opinion. What do we got in the comments, Russ? This is an open mic. Let's hear what the gallery has to say.
Well, the gallery isn't saying much except for like hello and stuff. Like, let me get here. Like Flossie says, Lions, Packers. We got a prediction for the division right there.
Flossie thinks Jordan Love is going to be good.
And John Dorn calls out Will as a bandwagon fan. If you were a
don't worry about it, Will.
A Panthers fan, yeah. Hey there, guys. Hi, Tina. It's great.
Hi, Tina. Again. I want to address that last one. Will, are you a bandwagon fan for the Lions?
No.
Sure you are. You're a Panthers fan.
You're a Panthers fan. I converted you.
But we'll take it. There's plenty of room on this bandwagon.
I'm Panthers and Lions because of Jeremy's awesomeness. He's helped me learn about the history of the Lions. And you know what? It's also because one of my best friends' family's from Detroit.
Okay, wow, Jeremy, that was impressive. I didn't even see your lips move.
My best friend's one of his groomsmen in his wedding, and he's a Panthers and the Lions fan too. So hanging out with his family a lot helped me too.
Jeremy, get your hand from under his back. Jeremy's got 2 cameras in his room.
Oh, that's good. Can I get in? Okay, Keegan says, "Hey fellas, thank you Thank you, Keegan, for watching the show.
Yeah, but you know what?
Detroit.
Just like the Panthers make fun of their divisional rivals, I've got nicknames for the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. The Vikings are, of course, the Queens. The Bears are Unbearables. And the Packers are the Pack Up and Goes.
Oh my gosh. We got to get some good smack talk on here, guys. Detroit Fan Man says, I didn't know the Bear fans could atone. Thank you for the learning experience. I think that he's talking about our Rajneesh coming back. Well, don't call it a comeback. Leo says, Lions taking the North, baby. Let's go. Gotta love that. Got a Lion fan in here. John Dorn says Vikings should have traded Hunter.
I agree.
Got
something for him.
I agree. They could have gotten at least probably a third and a fifth for him. Then they could have taken the money that they had left and gotten probably Yannick Ngakoue and Jadeveon Clowney to fill his shoes. And kept Brock and kept Davenport on the bench.
You know, I never thought about it, but Jadeveon Clowney, we've kicked it around. Where would be a good landing spot for him? Minnesota would absolutely be a great landing spot for Jadeveon Clowney. He would get to be the featured guy like he's always wanted to be.
Yeah. And now I have no clue. I have no clue where he belongs.
Yeah.
Simon says he forced their hand to either pay him or lose him. No in between. I don't agree, Simon. He would have had to play this year anyway. So what are you talking about losing? Lose him next year? Well, now that he has gotten a no franchise tag, you're going to lose him next year anyway. And you just gave away the money. But Simon, I know you're a Packer fan. I know you're not side with those Vikings. I want a Viking fan to come in here and justify this for me. Or I want a Viking fan to come in here and say, you're right, our GM is trash.
Well, I've been waiting for a Viking fan to come for the last 2.5 weeks on a show 5 days a week, and I can't find one. So good luck on that one.
Have you ever seen a fan base after winning a division title and going to the playoffs be so ghosted the next season? I mean, it really, really is intriguing. CJ says it's going to be, I believe, crazy with the offense without Cook this year for the Vikings. Yeah. If Alexander Madison is the hope, I think they're in trouble. What's your analysis of Alexander Madison there, Jeremy?
3.7 yards per carry. He had less than Jamison Williams with almost as good of an O-line. He had less than David Montgomery with less than an O-line.
You said Jamison Williams. I know you meant Jamal.
Jamal, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
You've had enough of that shit.
Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, we always like to put this content over on YouTube as well. And we are talking all four fan bases here at the NFC North Open Mic Trash Talk. Bring your best zinger and put it in the comments, and we will kick it around here. What else we got in the comments, Russell?
Well, let me look in here. So Simon says that he meant next year.
Oh, right. He meant next year. Right. Okay.
Okay. So Keegan says the GM will make the trade deadline, and if he doesn't do anything, he will be fired.
I love that take. I love that take. That kind of piggybacks on what Will said. I think he'll make a half a season, Will said. And that might be the finish line for Kwesi right now. Unless he pulls a rabbit out of his hat by the trade deadline. I mean, if this team has got a winning record at that time, maybe things are different. But with that defense, they're going to have to score over 40 points a game to be competitive.
They love the fact that Love threw a pass to Christian Watson over a practice squad corner. Oh, my God. Yeah. Hold me back.
Yeah, but I saw the video, but it wouldn't have mattered who was covering him. That was going to be right on the numbers. Perfect.
I just like saying the fact that it was a practice squad guy.
Yeah, and I have to say that every one of these teams has a lot of great rah-rah stuff coming out of training camp. My favorite, though, was Minnesota. Kirk Cousins gave a riveting speech. It was riveting, supposedly, this by all accounts.
We like that.
Do you like that part?
You like that?
Was that and I don't know if you guys have seen the NFL, the quarterback series on Netflix. What we're learning about Kirk Cousins is he never cusses. He's like the most wholesome guy. So I really would have loved to have been a fly on the wall and hear this riveting speech that Kirk Cousins gave. Now, look, guys, golly gee. I'm telling you.
That reminds me of Phillip Rivers. Whenever he was pissed off, he went to his team. He's like, oh, gosh darn it. I'm like, Philip
This
Rivers, you
Detroit
know,
team
Cousins?
just scares the bejesus out of me. We got to get better.
Is it
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins is
Philip
kind of
Rivers
like
with his
Philip
Southern
Rivers?
accent. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
Except his wife doesn't pound out kids as quick as Georgia pounds out running backs.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay, so we got a couple comment. This is Simon's. Either you give him a long-term deal or they lose him next year.
He's
Either
old.
way, they will
You're
be
still
paying.
losing them.
Either way, you're going to be paying for him next year, whether you have him on the team or not, because they moved that money into dead money. So Kwesi, not only does he like to overpay for guys, but he likes to make sure that he screws up the next GM's cap too.
So maybe Simon, what Sam is saying here is you give him this $20 million now to stop the noise, get him in camp, get it rolling, and now it gives you a baseline to start putting a long-term deal together. If they do end up signing him to a long-term deal, hey, I'll eat crow right on this one, and maybe it was a good move. But he's a darn good defensive tackle. Is he worth $20 million though, Jeremy?
The end, but yeah, and he's their only valid pass rusher they have left. They got rid of Smith.
He's valid, but is he top 10? Hell no, he's not top 10.
No. I'd say maybe top 20.
Okay. Top 20 guys don't get 20 million. Only top 10 guys do.
And plus you have Justin Jefferson and you have TJ Hawkinson that you got to re-sign. You still got Kirk Cousins on. You got to move this cap around. You're not going to be able to sign all of those guys. Or maybe you will.
Hawkinson's gone too. I think they're going to finally find out that Hawkinson's not as good as people thought he was at one point.
Or, and that's a good call out, or they just went all in last year to try to get to a Super Bowl, and when it didn't pan out, they know they can't afford Hawkinson, but they knew they were getting him on a discount to try to get to a Super Bowl last year. So that's a good call out, Will.
He's not coming back. No way.
That's a good call.
I thought he was good in college. Coming out of college, I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be pretty good. Him and Noah Fant. Guess it was wrong.
They already have the highest paid backup tight end in the league. So another Kwesi move.
And didn't they draft a tight end as well?
If they did, it was a later round I'm not familiar with.
Yeah. Can't remember.
Love conquers all.
I know that.
I love what I am seeing in camp. And CJA says, but as a Packers fan, I will be happy. I wonder if that's one of those cocky things. Just because he's a Packer fan, they just get to be happy every year. Like I don't know. Are you
right? As Lions fans, we wallow in misery year after year. So I wonder what it's like to be like that.
We did have a Lions fan report that Shane Zylstra went down and will be out 6 weeks.
Ooh.
Which he was going to have a tough time making the roster, I think, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad for him, but that's just another one that can be injury waived now.
Not speaking of non-NFC North, real quick, if you don't mind, did you guys hear about Tim Patrick again?
Yeah, that's the Denver Broncos.
Yeah,
tore his Achilles this time.
After coming back from an ACL,
and then
now he tears his Achilles. This poor kid.
And then Russell Wilson's gonna need to find more targets now.
Yeah, maybe they can trade for Trinity Benson.
Yeah, they can trade and have him back because they also lost another one to a heart condition today. Today.
Well, since we got 4 Lions fans on here, let's move on. Let's talk about JMO. Oh, wait, we got a comment from Steve who says there's no Vikings fan left. They're on the Lions bandwagon now.
You've had enough of that shit.
We will take it, Steve. But there are a lot of Lions haters out there, and I just think they're scared personally. But Jameson Williams was involved in a scuffle at training camp today where he allegedly took a punch at Starling Thomas V, who is an undrafted free agent prospect corner. In practice, allegedly, the two were going at it really hard, and JMO actually took a punch at him. Is this a lot to do about nothing, Jeremy? What do you think?
Well, we've seen it every year in training camp. Guys get heated, they swing at each other, and in all actuality, from what I read, it's actually a slap on the helmet. It wasn't even a punch. So I don't know why everybody's calling it a punch. when other people have reported it's a slap on the helmet. I haven't seen the video yet. I want to see the video so I can see it for myself. I did see the video that after that, he did give a helmet popping block to free Jahmyr Gibbs for a touchdown run. And then he also had a nice toe drag swag catch at the sideline.
Yeah, I saw the highlight of that catch. Man, what a nice move, right? He kept his head right and then busted left on a cut. That was a really nice little route. And Goff threw the ball before he even made the turn, and it was right on the money. That looks like an indefensible play to me. What do you think of that, Russ? That's 10 out of 10, right? Did he freeze or is he pausing?
No, he was doing the "we like that" thing.
Yeah. Did you hear it? Or did it not come in?
You like that?
Is that coming through?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. What I wanted to say about that is I actually listened to the interviews that were after they interviewed Jonah Jackson. I can't remember the first, but they did interview JMO, and they talked about it like competitive fire here. Like there was, I really watched his facial expression and watched him during the. They're not freaking out about this guy. Nobody on the team is freaking out about this. Aaron Glenn's not freaking out about this. Dan Campbell's just like, okay, they're competitive fire. It didn't start an all-out brawl, and I mean, you want guys to have that competitive juice. I didn't sense any kind of urgency out of anybody that spoke on it. They like it as competitive fire.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Did I lose my? Or maybe we lost Mike. Oh my gosh,
we did just lose Mike.
We lost Mike. I thought he was maybe he didn't see me. Maybe he.
And James Burgess says the media wants clicks. Punch gets more clicks than slap.
Exactly.
And he goes, this kind of shit happens approximately 32 camps every August.
You've had enough of that shit.
For sure.
There's a scuffle. There was a scuffle.
There he is. Hey, welcome back.
Was it just me that disappeared?
It was only you.
Oh, because you guys, what I saw was you guys disappear, and I could still hear and see myself. So
yeah.
And I look great.
James is exactly correct. There was a scuffle in Chiefs camp yesterday where Mahomes threw a ball perfectly to Kelsey in the back of the end zone, and a Chiefs player just like bumps Kelsey, and they do a little scuffle. But it happens. Like, guys are competitive. Guys are trying to make the roster and make a name for themselves.
But I think earlier we were talking, and Mike had brought it up. I think it comes to, it isn't just the one thing. It's this stacked on this, stacked on this, stacked on this, and then you're throwing a punch. So it's all of those things, and then the punch, and you're going, okay, are we seeing a trend here? You got to at least ask the question, right?
You do.
I do think it's another red flag.
Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of people, though, that want to see this kid fail, and I've noticed that. There are a lot of people rooting for his demise and rooting for Jameson Williams to fail. John, speaking of which, there's John Dorn.
Oh gosh, John, we miss you. You should come on here because I got to hear you say.
I'm going to answer that question for him too, Russ. Why are the Lions overhyped and overrated? Asking for a friend. First of all, John, you don't have any friends. Okay.
Oh dang.
The Lions are overhyped because they won 8 out of 10 games going down the stretch, and they only got better. You see, that's what the offseason is about. It's about making your team better, making moves through the draft and free agency and addition by subtraction, by getting rid of the weakest parts of your team and strengthening them. Something the Packers don't do because they let Hall of Fame quarterbacks walk out the door and bring in unproven rookies. So that's why we're overhyped right now. And also, we're the thirstiest fan base in the entire world across all sports franchises and all sports. That's the main reason, because we are the thirstiest fan base. And when we win, believe me, we will win. And when we do, the law of averages say we will. You are never going to hear the end of it. Trust me.
Oh, that dude's a bust. LOL. He's got to be talking about JMO. They're calling
too early to say that.
Well,
he hasn't even played 3 seasons yet.
There's enough has transpired for rival fan bases to throw that out there. I think they're entitled to that. I think there has been enough from this kid going into his second year to label him as a potential bust for sure.
Yep. And I'm glad that you said that, Mike, because we have to be objective and transparent on this program because we are representing the entire NFC North, even though, well, you guys don't have to, but we do because we're representing the whole North right here. And even though there are 4 Homer Lions fans on here, we want to hear what you think. And you're more than welcome to come on in. And I'm going to put the link back in the comments right here so you guys can come on in and tell us we're wrong. There you go.
Right.
That dude's a bust.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
PJ Gardner-Johnson came out this week and said J-Mo's one of the best in the league. Guy who's got to go up against him in practice.
Okay, I'm not saying he's going to have the receiving skills as this guy, but I think he's like I don't know why I'm saying this, but he's like a Jalen Waddle 2.0. He's got this.
Okay.
And actually, to tell you the truth, he didn't say he's one of the best. He said he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. It wasn't one of the best. And when JMO was asked about that today, JMO has that when he's talking, he's got that humble talk. He says, I'm willing to work for it. He says, I am going to put the work in. And when I do put the work in, I will be the best.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Like that.
He probably said, and I will be the best. You want to make a bet on it?
I bet you I'll be the best. You like that? Oh my gosh. Roy says let's not talk about JMO. Why not? That's controversy. We love controversy on this show.
And yet at the same time, the guy he got into it with another wide receiver who beat him later. So let's hear about why isn't that news?
Roy also says once he gets back, all this crap will go away. I think that's a good call out. He's going to have 11 games in this season to shut everyone up. Hopefully he'll have, 14 games to shut everyone up. But he's at least got 11 chances to make you right, Roy, that once he gets back, all this crap will go away. And trust me, if he comes back with 800 yards in the season, that's going to be enough to shut up the haters going into next year, I believe.
John Dornan.
I love that. I love this call by James. Media wants clicks. Punches get more clicks than slaps unless it's Chris Rock.
Absolutely.
And on that note, Aaron Rodgers actually took a page from Will Smith today and said, keep my coach's name out your mouth.
Boom.
Of course, Aaron Rodgers reacting to the Sean Payton comments, disparaging words against his offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett. Sean Payton, who said, quote, the job that Nathaniel Hackett did in Denver last year is one of the all-time worst coaching stints ever, is what Sean Payton said.
Definitely up there.
He must have forgot about Rod Moranelli.
Rod Meredith.
Oh, no.
Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
All right, I think I got another one. Okay, Lions are overhyped because they earned the right to be overhyped. Will they live up to it? We know a lot. We'll know a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more in 3 months.
Yeah, the semicolon is right next to the L's. So I was able to decipher that's we'll know a lot more in 3 months. He's absolutely right. They've earned the right to be overhyped when you win 8 out of 10 going down the stretch and you're the hottest team in football to close out the season. We're trying to keep that momentum going into 2023. So I agree with that comment. Thank you so much for the take. Love conquers all. This is John Dorn's shadow account. Did the Lions get better? I don't believe they did. Just saying. Well, then you haven't been paying attention. Because they addressed their weakest point, which was their secondary, and they bolstered it majorly. And they everywhere where they were weak or they lost a player, they trimmed the fat. They trimmed a Warrior, Mike Hughes, Deshaun Elliott, and they brought in studs to replace them. So if they didn't get better, and you don't think so, then you just haven't been paying attention. You've had your head stuck up a cheese, one of them funky cheese head things that y'all wear.
Yeah, but this is the main event, the home of the bad takes. So, 75% of them are full of crap anyway, and that just happens to be one of them.
Correct.
All right, DC. I see you.
Okay, let me see where we're at right here. We're moving. Roy says 100% of the catches have been touchdowns. 100%.
100. Keep it
You can't
100.
argue with that.
Keep it
One
100.
catch for 41 yards and one TD. Those are his stats for the year.
That's great. That's good stuff right there.
So, fun
Sutton
thing
and Mosley is hardly an upgrade.
You say three-tier to call player a bust, 3 years probably. You say 3 years to call player a bust. So Mims is a bust with 0 TDs in 3 years. Okay.
So far, Denzel Mims is a bust.
Yeah,
you are
he's a
absolutely
bust.
right.
That we paid
You
nothing
are
for.
absolutely right.
Hopefully he makes the team. Love says, or Love Conquers All says, you're wrong on what? Our team getting better?
No, that's John Dorn's shadow account.
Oh,
That's what we're wrong about. Okay.
Bear Down Mike says, if the Lions are legit come this season, I will tip my Bears hat. Look at that.
Appreciate that. Look at these Bear fans. What's gotten into them today?
I mean,
They're
I'm not
turning
used to all this
into their
respect.
baseball team, the Cubs, they're getting soft.
Good call out.
Damn,
Thank
Will.
you for that, though, Mike. I agree. And just like we did last year, Russ, when the Vikings won the division, we were gracious, right? We tipped our hat to them. We congratulated them.
For sure.
And this is just a Bears fan saying that when that happens this time next year, he'll do the same. And I appreciate
that's
that.
awesome. That's good sportsmanship. Because as a Panther fan too, Falcons never give us credit. Saints never give us credit. Buccaneers never give us credit. They're like, oh, you played hard. I'm like,
So
yeah,
John's
we're
giving us
better than
some fodder here. Can't be the best when you drop 4 balls in practice today.
Isn't that what practice is for, to correct what you do wrong?
I got Allen Iverson on line 1.
We're talking about practice.
Yeah.
What only matters when you drop ball, like it doesn't matter that Jordan Love was 4 for 7, and it matters the one touchdown pass that he had because that was in practice and he had a touchdown with people in shorts. But because JMO dropped 4 balls in practice today, that's a big deal. That's huge.
Is John talking about how Jordan Love receives the snaps? There were 4 dropped balls today.
Really? Well, John, you got to understand, he dropped 4 balls in practice today because he had 100 on the over-under on drop balls, and he had to get over 4. So,
I mean, how many do you think they did throw at him? I mean, what was it like? Did they throw him 5 balls and he dropped 4? Is that what happened?
I doubt it was that few.
Let's see. Lions 1960 says, every time I hear CJ GJ talk, I am glad we got him. Dude is a dog with attitude.
couldn't
I
agree
love
more.
Players like that.
Go ahead, Will.
No, I was saying I love players like that. I love hard-nosed players who will do anything day and night to make the team better, themselves better, work at it. I love the guys who are, like, for a basketball reference, I love the guys who, after the game, they're seen shooting free throws in the gym. Like, I learned at basketball camp, don't end on a miss. In football terms, don't end on a miscatch. You want to get better and better every day. Even if I love the guys who go in on their off days and say with their quarterback, hey, I know it's our off day, but let's get some reps in.
Right. And to Lions 1960's point, the guy talks a lot of trash. He tries to get into the opponent's head, right? We saw him do it. But when it comes right down to it, we saw after the Super Bowl, after he committed a penalty, right? A holding penalty he was much maligned by the Philadelphia media and the Philadelphia fan base. He didn't shy away from it. And even though he's a trash talker, you didn't see any bravado from him. He just plainly said, yeah, it was a good call. I'd done it 3 or 4 times in the game and they didn't call it. And this time they did. So it's like another Detroit native says, it's not bragging when you can back it up. Right. So CJ does talk a lot of smack, but he always backs it up with his play. And I agree with Lions 1960 on this. It's going to be great to have a guy like that to bring a swagger to our defense, who's going to be bringing the heat on every play on defense. He's going to be a catalyst for this defense, I predict.
You know who that reminds me of as a Panther fan also? Steve Smith. He talks so much smack.
How many freaking teams you got, Will? You can't be a Lions fan and also a Panthers fan and also a Buccaneers fan. That can't be.
No, not that third team. No. We don't talk about them.
No. DC says, howdy, boys.
DC.
Drinking in Baltimore.
Yes,
Making
sir.
Monday a hell of a lot better. Yeah. Throwing back a couple.
DC
Got to
is
make you feel
great.
good.
DC.
You know
sports.
DC?
No,
You guys-
no. I know him a little bit.
I know him real well.
8091. Hey, DC, I will be joining you with my son week 7. We are coming to Baltimore to watch the debut of Jameson Williams, and then I can shut all these people up that keep on calling him a bust because he's going to have 2 touchdowns in that game.
I can see it over Marcus Peters.
You go.
He's a Raider now.
Oh, he's a Raider now. Yeah, he sure is.
I was gonna say over Marcus Peters.
Oh, Eric Thomas, and I know Eric Thomas is a Bear fan. He says, you're crazy if anyone doesn't think the Lions got better.
Exactly. Thank you, Eric. Tell these Vikings fans who are in denial.
But I see what he was talking about. He said some fan in the nail biters said that the Lions will go 15-2 and their only 2 losses will be Chiefs and Chargers.
Wow.
I was like, that's a bit of homerism right there. I've never heard anybody say 15-2 that I've talked to. The most I've heard is 14, and I was like, you're delusional.
Well, in case you hadn't heard it, Russell Wayne says 17-0.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Way to go, Homer.
Well, I didn't say 17-0. I said that I'm going to pick the Lions in 17 games, and I'll probably be wrong 4 or 5 times. Get it right. John Dorn says Sutton and Mosley is hardly an upgrade. Well, Sutton is as good as anybody on your team not named Jair Alexander.
Right. What does PFF know?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a top 25 corner last year.
I love proving John Dorn wrong. The other day he comes on and he says that what good running backs came from Alabama other than Henry.
Wow.
A handful.
It's just like, I don't know. You ever heard of Josh Jacobs? Like
some jokes just write themselves.
Oh gosh. Michael says, Jahmyr Gibbs, what are your likes and dislikes about this guy? Finally, a question we can send around.
Right. What I like the most about Jahmyr Gibbs is the way Brad Holmes has a vision for how he's going to be used. And the fact that the smartest guy in the room likes his skill set and has a plan for it, that's what makes me the happiest. How about you, Jeremy? What do you think? What do you like and dislike about Jahmyr Gibbs the most?
I haven't found anything I dislike yet. I haven't seen any glaring holes with
not that haircut.
That don't bother me.
He looks like the guy from Good Burger.
That's okay. He can get you a good burger from a good burger.
Hi, I'm Jahmyr Gibbs. Welcome to Good Burger.
Home with the Good Burger. Man, take your order.
Oh my God.
Like that.
Oh God. I got to give you
Oh
5.
God. Now love conquers all is John Dorn. That's John Dorn and Greg.
Oh my
I'm lining up at the X.
But anyways, what I do like about Jahmyr Gibbs is speed. What I also like is the fact that he runs routes like a second-year wide receiver, not a running back.
Right.
All
No
right.
dislikes.
I haven't found one yet.
Okay. How about you, Will? Anything that stands out about Jahmyr Gibbs?
I love Jahmyr Gibbs. What he did at Alabama was crazy. And I love how Brad Holmes is also using him because he's not only going to be he's not going to be the main running back. He's going to be lining up as a wide receiver. I love pass catching backs like McCaffrey, him. You got
Alvin Kamara,
Austin Eckler. You got a handful in the NFL, and it's good because a long time ago, running backs used to be just the guy who bruises, never really caught a pass. But now running backs are adapting to go out wide to learn to catch a pass because it's good, because then it makes you versatile. If the run doesn't work, then maybe you catching a ball and getting that burst of speed and breaking off a tackle will help. And then you'll be like, oh, I can get back to the run and work on that. But yeah, being a flexible guy who can catch and run, it makes you an overall better player.
Good take, Will. Good take. Right on. How about you, Russ? You want to address Michael's question here?
Well, I do because I wanted to say something about Inside the Den in the third edition, because one of the questions that I wanted asked that I had asked before I had watched that I wanted to have answers was, did they pass on Bijan Robinson or did they miss him? Like, did they try to get him and then they didn't get, and the Inside the Den told me without a shadow of a doubt that Jahmyr Gibbs was the number one running back on their board by a mile. They weren't interested in Bijan Robinson. He wasn't on the radar like that. He said that they thought about taking him at 6, and they actually took a chance that he would be there at 12. And the thing that I love about Jahmyr Gibbs is the fact that he changes his ability to change speed. So when he runs to the outside and somebody's chasing him, he's running to the outside in like third, fourth gear. And then when they try to get the angle on him, he just speeds up. If you watch his tape and watch how many people try to tackle him that are close to him that don't even touch him.
Yeah.
He turns on the jets.
And I don't like, there's not one thing that I don't like about him.
I agree.
So
I see nothing I don't like either.
He's a little slightly built for me, though. DeAndre Swift, he's filling the role of DeAndre Swift, who could not stay healthy, but he's even slighter built than DeAndre Swift. So I worry about the punishment that he's going to take in the league. I wish he was a little bit bigger. Of course, if he was a little bigger, he probably would have went in the first 10 picks.
That's fair.
That's a great call out, though, Russ, is that if they wanted Bijan Robinson, guess what? They could have taken him because the Falcons took him at 8. We could have had him at 6 if we really wanted him. But according to Inside the Den, Brad Holmes said, no, Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy we wanted. And we gambled that if we moved back to 12, he would still be there. And that gamble paid off.
I loved the fact that when right after they the Tennessee Titans picked Peter Skoronski, they erupted in that room because they knew that they were going to get their guy at 12 anyway, and they got an extra. They got Sam Laporta out of the deal. The fact that they got their guy that they wanted anyway, and they got a third guy that was in their top 14.
Yeah, that is a beautiful stroke, isn't it?
It's always great when a team gets the guy they want and not the guy that they're like, oh, he's the best available, but we don't want him.
By making that trade down, though, gave him the pick to take Sam Laporta, to Russ's point. And that is amazing, especially if this kid turns out to be one of the top tight ends in the league. I'm really excited about Sam Laporta. Jeremy, what about you?
I think he has the option of starting at the same time as Brock Wright, because Brock Wright is the better on the line blocker. Sam Laporta, what he does good is out there in the slot. He's a better downfield blocker when he gets up to speed. Because of the way he breaks tackles and uses his strength, he's able to push guys down to clear a hole for the running back behind him. Because fuck your kneecap. I like it.
I love that.
The look on his face.
Look, man, I don't care if you got one ass cheek and 3 toes. I'm gonna kick your ass.
I was looking for a Sam. I don't have a Sam. Oh, there, I got one of Sam Laporta. There we go. The offensive weapons right there. Look at that.
Hi, welcome to Good Burger.
Yeah, take your order.
I heard it was 6 weeks. It's 6 months.
Oh. And tell me, doesn't Ben Johnson look like Paul Rudd? I'm an Avenger.
He does.
The offensive weapons are something else, because Ben Johnson is a wizard, and all these people talking about Goff and stuff, and it's like, with that offensive line, you ain't got to worry about Goff all that much. You got to worry about the fact that you can't get to him and that they're going to run the ball down your throat. Let's see what else we got in here.
I like Laporta as well. I really do.
Let's see. Anthony Stewart. Let's see. I missed a couple.
Quite a few.
Hold on a second. James says, regarding Mims, if you gave Michelangelo an 8-pack of Crayola crayons, you ain't gonna
get the Sistine Chapel. Look what Mims had to work with. he's saying he's got Zach Wilson throwing him the ball.
Wait, can I name the 6 quarterbacks he had? Sam Darnold, so bad he went to another team and still went to another one. Josh Johnson. Who? Zach Wilson.
Playoffs.
Only thing he's good at is banging Mills. It ain't at throwing bombs.
Playoffs.
Mike White.
It's my quarterback.
Chris Streveler was the one
It's
he
my
had the
quarterback.
best production with, and that was last season. And what was the other guy's name?
Joe Flacco.
Oh, yeah,
Joe
that bum.
Flacco.
It's my
Oh,
quarterback.
yeah, that washed up bum from 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Doug Williams says the Lions are going to be good this year.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they are.
John Dorn says Packers taking back the division. Book it.
Couldn't do it with a Hall
Yeah.
of Fame quarterback. How do you expect to do it with a
Oh,
I
guys,
it's
All you
unproven.
need is love.
did you
love.
guys hear? Hey, John, I heard the Packers games are being played on Comedy Central.
Come on, man. I will say this. I heard that the Lions will go 15-2 this year, and the 2 losses would be against the Chiefs and the Chargers
No, that's
and
not
nail
happening.
biters. Truthfully, that's not happening.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Love conquers
That's
all.
way too
I got to
high.
tell you, that Lions fan does not speak for all Lions fans. He sounds like he's high on hopium.
Yeah, maybe
By
that's
the
a
way,
little bit too
I have
much.
a 12-step hopium program if you need to enroll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
we put you in
Lions
a room
fans-
and watch Matt Millen press conferences.
Oh, no.
Or Rod Marinelli. Matt Petrasha.
I like this right here. This is a good comment right here. I think each team honestly believes that they have the best wide receiver core this year.
Not our team.
I think
Not-
so.
not Lions.
I think we're all pretty high on the wide receivers on all 4 teams are pretty smitten with their wide receiver core for sure. That's a great. I think that's a great call.
And I would put the Lions in that category from the depth position. There's not a deeper wide receiver team when it comes to our team. When you're looking at, we have 3 number 3 wide receivers, and then I'm on Ross St. Brown along with everybody can catch a pass on our team.
And I think Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Sure.
Most complete wide receiver. So I see why, Minnesota would be smitten. DJ Moore is a hell of a receiver who's gotten 1,000 yards 5 years in a row, and he's used to bad quarterback play. So there's a lot of reason to be optimistic there if you're a Bears fan. And for some reason, they love Mooney and Claypool as well. I don't see a lot there myself, but the Packers, hey, Christian Watson had a great rookie season. The kid's 6'4", blazing speed. He had some drops early in the year, which really put him on the outs with Karen Rodgers. But he brought it together at the end, and I was really impressed with the season Christian Watson had. And this kid could be the real deal. So far, he's turned out to be a better draft pick than Jamison Williams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's truth in that. I like that comment. That's a good one. You get a 2-banger on that.
You like that?
Thank you, Detroit fan man. Let's let your voice be heard. It's open mic night. Put your comment in or your question in. We'll kick it around this panel of Lion knuckleheads.
All right. I like Joseph right here. Says I'm on Ross St. Brown, about to have his best season yet. As a question.
I think he will. Yeah.
I do not think he will. I do not think he will, because that will mean that we are not winning as many games as we should.
Right.
I want him to be lower in the category. And Amon-Ra doesn't care about those stats. He wants to win. And I would like to see him have his worst season yet, because JG is distributing the ball around. We're running the ball effectively. We're not even out there on offense that much because our defense is just dominating them, right? So, I mean, we're running up the score. We're running the ball. But if they need to, I think Amon-Ra is definitely in his prime. This guy's all muscle. He's all strength. And he's definitely a wide receiver 1.
What I see also is that if Amon-Ra cannot stay healthy for all 17 games, he will not get his 1,000 yards again this season. He's missed 2 games each year.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what? I've seen some reports in the camp when it comes to the chemistry between Amon-Ra and Jared Goff right now is on a completely different level. And I do believe that Amon-Ra St. Brown is the type of worker that when he sees these 6 games that J-Mo is going to be out, I think he's going to eat in the first 6 weeks, and he's going to become a top 5 wide receiver in this league from a skill position and how people view him.
Yeah.
Not a lot out of Packers camp. We're trying to talk about all 4 teams here, but we don't have any of the other fan bases in tonight. I don't know why. Normally we have great engagement with all of the other fan bases. Today it's just Lions. in here
And John
today.
Dorn.
I did hear that there was a undrafted free agent in Green Bay that was making some noise. I think the last name was Cox. I think that's spelled with an X.
We hope it is.
That's a great question there by Lions 1960. Signing Justin Jackson back after the production he had last year means what for Netflix and Justin Jefferson? Netflix still may make the team, but Jameer Jefferson, I think he's going to be practice squad fodder just because we can't afford to cut him on a rookie contract.
Right. And Brad Holmes has said when it comes to these in-between guys, special teams is what makes the difference. And Austin Jackson was a great kick returner for the Lions last year. He's going to have his value on special teams alone, as well as depth at running back. So he serves a double purpose. I don't think Jermar Jefferson can say the same thing.
Right. And at the same time, I also want to say with Justin Jackson, Branch, J-Mo, and Antoine Green all having return ability, and Antoine Green is getting more snaps than Khalif Raymond right now, and Reynolds. There may be some turmoil in that wide receiver room come season time.
I loved the Green pick because I've told Jeremy on his show when I was on there, I thought Green, you have Josh Downs, but then you got Green, who he tore it up for North Carolina as well. The numbers say he played really well, and he did as a second receiver.
Wouldn't it be great if Antoine Green was the next Amon-Ra, a late draft pick that becomes a starter and a star in this league?
Sick.
That would be awesome. Phenomenal. A seventh rounder. And he does have those measurables that the Lions needed. He's got the height. He's got the speed. He's got the yards per catch average that you want from your ex receiver. He brings all of that to the table. And if his talent can rise up to be starter potential, and this is a guy that Brad Holmes stole out of the 7th round, this will only further the legend of Brad Holmes.
And remember on the episode 3, they said they had a 4th round grade on him. And they said, he's still here at 219. We're taking him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that was a very, very easy decision for them. We also had somebody in here. I got to find it right there. Okay, right here. Calhoun Lion says thoughts on Brock Martin, since we got Lions questions in here. That's
I don't know if we're talking about Broderick Martin or if we're talking about Brock Wright. I think we're talking about Broderick Martin, right? Who is the Broderick, 3rd round draft pick, rookie from Western Kentucky on the defensive tackle side of the ball. And a lot of good reports coming out of camp. There was a great video of him working one-on-one with Isaiah Buggs. Isaiah showing him proper technique on the sled. And, man, this kid's huge. What's his measurables, Russ?
I think he's 350 pounds, like 6'5" or 6'4", something like that.
350. 6'4", sorry, 6'4", 350 pounds. They moved up into the 3rd round to get him. Calhoun Lion, I think this guy could also be another Brad Holmes gem plucked out of the later rounds, smaller school.
What about you, Jeremy?
What I liked is that prior to going to his 3-4 at Western Kentucky, he also played DT2 for North Alabama. And if you actually look at his numbers, he did really good there in that 4-man front, which is what we're going to run mostly as a 4-man front. It's been said over and over again by Aaron Glenn. So using him as a DT2 or as a replacement for Aleem when he gets tired, it's going to be a great spot for Broderick.
So there was a good, I wanted to mention one thing about Broderick Martin was one of the reports out of the camp. Now, this was only one thing. Right at the beginning of the day, he using his hands. He punched Frank Ragnow and put Frank Ragnow on his ass. And it only happened the one time. I mean, after that, Frank Ragnow welcomed the rookie to the league and just said, "All right, no more of that. All right, no more." But he did, show some flashes against an elite center. So that was one thing I'll say about Broderick.
Yeah, Broderick made Ragnow realize he cannot take a play off even in practice.
Not even in practice.
Right. And he's a rookie. Those fresh legs, those fresh muscles coming in, trying to prove himself, trying to earn it. All these guys are really playing their tails off to try to ensure themselves a spot on the 53-man roster. I mean, you get it down to 90, and then overnight, practically, it's 53. So you really got to do something to separate yourself from these other guys if you want to stick. Jeremy, you look like you're about to poo yourself again. Go ahead.
No. I'm just reading the comments. I was waiting for him to pop up.
Oh,
sometimes you get that look like you wanting to say something.
I will raise my finger when I want to say something.
Yeah, I've seen that before, Jeremy.
Okay.
all right. It looks like, okay, I'm looking at here's a comment right here with the Lions 12-5, Minnesota 9-7, Bears 8-9, Pack 7-10. Got the Pack in the bottom.
You like that?
I like that too.
The Packers being packed up.
being all packed up.
I like that. I had the Lions at 11 wins, but he's got them at 12, and I hope he's right.
My ex-missus was a wide receiver, but she ran away with my best friend.
All right, Virgil. What
Virgil,
you should have had was a tight end.
I was going to say, Virgil, you were hoping for a tight end, but got a wide receiver.
Oh, and then that was the one that you hit earlier, the production one. Sometimes you hit a comment before I'm writing, I'm moving my way down, and then I saw the comment that you brought up a little bit earlier. I'd love to see St. Brown have his best blocking year.
Right. And that piggybacks off of Calhoun's comment earlier. Will St. Brown have his best year ever? I agree with James here. Let's hope he has his best blocking year, because that means more balls are downfield.
Well, he was the best starting blocking wide receiver in the league last year. I mean, the only one that was better than him was, I think it was his brother in Chicago, but he didn't play as many. So obviously the St. Browns know how to block. It's in the blood.
Yes.
So, but we're talking about Amon-Ra.
By the power of Ra.
There you go. I almost forgot since we're talking.
It is the off season, so kudos to you and this panel and anybody who's still interested in football. At the end of July, on the last day of July, we are barreling towards the regular season opener, September 7th, with the Lions against the Chiefs. This is the NFC North Open, Mike. Not a lot of trash talk in here. I probably scared everyone off, and they're all scared to come and get a piece. We'd like to say thank you to our panel, Jeremy Bulrick for the South Florida Tribune, his young Padawan, Will Vogel. Is it Vogel or Vogues? Vogel. No relation to Kate.
No.
Okay. Will, Jeremy, and for the producer, Russell Wayne, I'm your host, Main Event Mike. And we are saying, may the power of the sun god shine on you every day. God bless each and every one of you. Peace out.
You